Hey guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video. Today we're looking at Regain Earth First Strike. This is a wave-based kind of slaughterhouse, if you like. You've got your guns, you've got your enemies, and the idea is to just keep going through waves and waves and see how high of a score you get. Very arcadey, very simple premise. Not the best executed, but it does look like they've got a roadmap to implement more things, different like guns and stuff down the line. So hopefully it'll get better. A few things mechanically that I'm not overly happy with, however. So I'm going to go into the settings menu and then we will jump into game and you can decide for yourselves whether this is a game for you. Alright, so at first glance, this looks like a really good settings menu. However, there are a few problems with it. The first, I've never understood why they have display settings and quality settings as separate. It just takes up more clicks, more times, you don't need it. Put display as your quality settings, put it all into one menu, save everybody some time. As for the quality settings, it's got jitter and grain and motion blur. A lot of games have this these days. It's not needed. But hey, have it so that they're off by default. I will never not say this, alright? Have it so it's off by default. Other than that, there are a lot of things that you can change in here, which is, you know, really kind of cool. It does ask you to save it every time, whether you've actually changed anything or not, which is a bit weird. However, the biggest problem I've got with this menu is the key bindings. You can rebind everything, including the controller. However, it doesn't work. What I mean by the fact it doesn't work is that the controls are actually inverted for moving forward and moving backwards on your controller. If you try and use a controller as default, it's default to back. So if I press up, which would be normally forward, it actually makes me go backwards. The problem with this is, if I try to rebind this and click on it here and make it so that the up button, it actually gets rid of it from the down completely. And if I click on the down to make it go down, it switches it. So if I want to rebind it just to invert it like a normal person would, I actually can't because it deletes the button. I actually can't do that, which means I'm stuck with not being able to use a controller. Now, this is on PC and there are going to be a lot of keyboard master race people, which is fine. But for those of us that do prefer to use a controller for these shoot 'em ups and these third-person shooters and stuff, it's a problem. Don't allow us to rebind it if we can't rebind it. It needs fixing. They either need to make it where up and down works properly as intended, or they need to enable us to be able to set multiple keys for the right way. Either make it so that if I push up, it comes up with just the up arrow, and if I push down, it comes with just the down arrow. As it is, this is broken and won't work. The other thing that I noticed, which was a bit weird, is that it doesn't actually seem to have a crouch button, which is a bit odd. I don't understand why you wouldn't have a crouch button. You know, you've got a jump button. Why can't I have a crouch button so I can duck behind some cover and maybe shoot from behind cover and stuff? Add it in, please. The biggest problem with this menu is that it is incomplete, and that's not good. But like I say, it does look like they've got many more versions and a roadmap that comes out, so hopefully they can fix it in that time. But we'll jump into the game and we'll show you what it's all about. Alright, we're in the game. So, first things first, it's not the best looking game I've ever seen. Like, it's not bad, but the texture qualities are kind of meh. Also, you've not got a lot of health. It's very deceptive as to how much health you've actually got. There's no feedback from the weapons either, which is a bit disappointing. It doesn't really feel like you're doing anything, and the way that they kind of die and stuff, and the physics of when they die is also a little bit on the disappointing side. Aiming is kind of meh, even with, I mean, look at that. It's just pathetic. It's not great, even with a mouse and keyboard. Like, it just doesn't feel very accurate. And again, a lot of that is to the fact that there's no feedback, there's no health bar, there's no nothing. Like, you don't really give it anything. And the AI, as you can see, is dumb as two short planks. It really is. It's not good. I want to know why it takes 2 or 3 hits from the melee units, these lizard men, to kill me, whereas it takes like 5 or 6 rockets to do the same. So the damage scaling doesn't seem that great either. The other problem is that the maps are not very... They're not huge. They're very tiny. And obviously this is wave-based, so I wouldn't expect like a huge amount of enemies. It also appears to start you from where you left off. So when I was testing this before, I did a wave, and it seems to have put me in at wave 2, which is kind of cool, but kind of weird as well. Like I don't understand. And like I say, like these lizard men, they literally kill you straight away. Whereas, as you saw, I took like 3 or 4 rockets to the face. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very fleshed out at the minute. They need to do something. Like rockets should do more than a melee. Straight up, I should be more scared of being hit in the face by a rocket than having these swarming enemies sort of slowly swarm to my death. The game needs improvement. Like, it's way too basic, and you need more. In this day and age, you need something that's more. Now, it is co-op, so you can have co-op as well, which is cool, and you can do a single player mode. But the fact that this is all it is, just on different maps, the enemies need to be better to compensate for how simple it is. Because with how simple it is, and how dumb the enemies are, and how little damage you get, and like you don't know how much damage you're doing to the enemy. The health pickups are very, very low. You take damage from blowing stuff up. The radius of the damage you take from blowing stuff up is very large. It just... The word I would use for this would be unpolished. Right? That would be the word I would use. It's just unpolished. Make it shiny, make it work. Like this seems like an early alpha to me, not something that's about to be released in a few days. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, guys. Let me know if you agree with the feedback, if you disagree with the feedback. Let me know if this is a game you would pick up. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. This is Regain Earth First Strike. It comes out on the 27th of April. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.